All right, guys. So the bolts and washers finally came. I think. See, today's Sunday. I just haven't been feeling too well, and so basically, I think like a whole week has passed since when you're watching the past video. I went to Fastenal. See where they got. Mess. Well, I went to Fastenal, so these are the only bolts they had, and I figured it didn't sound like the right ones. And you can actually see too, the lengths are different. These ones are a lot longer. These are the ones. So I called Worx Racing, and they sent me out this, and they didn't charge me for it either, which is pretty cool. I already found this online. So the instructions I got are different than what these ones are. These must be the newer ones. And let's see what else I'm trying to find here. Yeah, so this kind of gets you an idea of the size of the bolt. So I could have installed this sooner, but because I was waiting to see what they were sending before I did it, because I didn't want to be, once you silicone all this stuff in, I mean, it's just going to be a pain in the butt if it's not right. And these are the ones that they supply. Now, this doesn't mean that they're a bad company. I did buy this online on eBay, so I mean, go figure. I mean, I asked all these questions before buying it, but I did get the Sponsons for $75. So, I mean, you really can't complain. The interesting thing too is the Sponsons are an older one they had since 2015. They're still used. These are the same plates used on their newer Sponson kits. So basically, if for whatever reason, which I don't think I would want to run their newer Sponson, I can just pull it off. They also sell like a half Sponson that is kind of more racing, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. There's not a lot of photos seen. But it's nice. They sent these. They also sent some stickers. I'm probably not going to return this to Fastenal. I'll probably just hold on to these because they're stainless steel, and you never know. I might need them for some other project. And then I know I already have stainless steel bolts that where I don't have to be messing around with installing them. The other thing I'm installing too is, if you saw earlier in the video, I said I have a lot of space now to install a bilge pump. Now, if you look, where I'm planning on putting it is basically behind. So this is the Riva exhaust coming down to where the factory thing heads out the back of the hull. So what I'm basically guessing about doing it is putting it right behind that is where I'm thinking. Because the kit that I got from Sea Doo says to put the bilge pump down here. Well, with the Riva intake, that's kind of where that spot would fit, way down there. There's not enough room with installing it down there. I don't really think it's it gets really tight fitting in there, and I'm thinking you can't put it down here. I'm thinking about putting it in the back of the hull. I guess it's not the lowest part, because I guess technically the lowest part of the hull is right there. Ideally it'd be there, but if you had to do anything, it'd be a pain in the butt. It would be a pain in the butt putting it there, because you would have to pull the intercooler out. So my goal is just to mount it back there, silicone it down. Hopefully it'll stay. And then I'm not going to wire it. I'm going to do a whole separate video with the rest to install that. I'm basically going to put this in, hook the hose to it, run the hose out, run the wires out where I know I can get to all that, where I don't have to pull out the intercooler again. And that's what I'm going to do with that. I'll show some with the video or keep the clip to use in a future video. But I'm not going to pull it all out. That's basically the kit that Sea Doo makes for it. The problem, the bilge pump stays on all the time, and I don't think that's an intelligent thing to have in the ski, because what I plan on doing is having this be where it's an on and off switch. So basically just turn it on when I need it, and doing something up on the dash is what I'm trying to figure out. I haven't gotten that part yet. I'm kind of going to do my little more research, maybe hiding a switch inside the compartment here, putting something on the handlebars. I mean, the good thing is you can kind of technically run wires coming up through here into that, and then hook something up here on the bar. I don't really know if I really want to have some invisible scene like that. It would look kind of cool. You can mount, you know, there's a bunch of places. I'm thinking more somewhere a little hidden. Then it, you got some room, like if you ran it, so you got some wires up here. Technically, you could run it up here, mount it right in the back of this, and have a switch hidden in there. I'm just trying to figure all those options, but basically the best thing is to get the thing in there. But also too, the next step is to mount the sponsons. Now I already did is got a majority of the silicone off. I'm going to try a little bit better getting the rest of it all off on this. Wipe it down real good, and then figuring out what side is what mounting it on. All right, so the lower mounting holes are like how it would be in the stock position. The higher one is where I'll have more of aggressive feeling. So I'm gonna go with the top one, not the lower one. This is how I'll be mounting on the side coming down there. Right there. So I got this pretty cleaned up, pretty good down below there. And what you want to do with this is first double check, triple check I guess too, is to make sure it's the right side. What you want to do is do a bead of silicone around the hole here. You want to do a bead of silicone. See, it basically says apply a bead of marine silicone sealant around the edges of the backing rails and around each mounting hole. So I'm guessing either, probably what you'd want to do is, they don't make it real clear, so I'm guessing is it around the edges. So I'm thinking you want to do like a bead kind of as much as you can around this. You'll want to wipe it down. And then you want to do it around each hole. Technically, you might want to do it around, I would say around here, but I'm also thinking to myself is how you'd really want to do it in here. The reality is I think it would be really hard to get that, but when you look at the stock holes, I mean, they got silicone in there. What I might do is apply a bead of silicone around the actual hole, similar to what it was stock, and apply it through the hole, I guess, is probably what I think the best bet would be. Maybe not as much on the backing of this. I would try to do around the edges. One thing that I would recommend with doing this is this marine silicone is a really toxic smell. So make sure you open up your garage, have enough air when doing this. But this is the next step. And then I think right after that, I'll do the bilge pump. It's kind of what my plan is to do. All right, got it all siliconed up. Then I got the silicone already on here to mount it up. All right, so there is this whole side installed. I wiped up the excess silicone would come around the sponge, and I used a degreaser that I put on a paper towel to just kind of wipe up any of the residue. So you can kind of see there's some left, but I'm gonna wait to put the sponson on until I get both sides, I guess. But that's what it looks like. Don't be cheap on it, because you're gonna remember this is under the water line, and hopefully there's no leaks. So the next step is to install this. What you want to do is pop off, this is two separate pieces. I would silicone around in the center, not here on these grooves, because that's obviously where the water pumps up. These are holes that would be for if you're using screws. We're obviously not screwing this in. The nice thing is this one you can mount on the sidewall, but I don't really think I'm going to have a good spot for that, so the best bet is to do it at the bottom. So I'm going to do a pretty good amount of silicone there, hold it down, and then give it a little time to dry, and then strap that in. I'm going to extend the wires out as far as they can go when I do the next step of later on installing it, so I don't have to pull the intercooler off. But we'll show you guys where I put it once I put it in place. Good news, I was able to remove the bolts and the stock sponson without removing the exhaust. It was like laying one way, laying back this way, and fishing my arm through there. And I'll tell you, these things are a lifesaver. I sell these in my Amazon store, and especially when you have tattoos and stuff, when you have to go in really tight areas where you obviously don't want to cut up your arms. Like I'm like noodling to try to in there to get the bolt out, and I can't believe I got it without, because it's easy to pull the exhaust out. It's just a lot of stuff to do, especially the pipe. I mean, it's a little bit of work. I really didn't want to do that unless I had to. The other thing too is when I put the washers and the nuts back onto the back, you want to make sure you don't drop nothing, especially even the socket. You don't want to drop that falling down in there, otherwise you will have to remove the exhaust, and I don't want to do that. So I got this spot off. Now I just have to remove the silicone and do exactly like what I did right there. So right now I'm waiting for that bracket that would hook onto this drying in the back. My goal is to put that back on once I'm in the step of putting the intercooler on. So basically I fish the intercooler over to the side, and I'm just waiting and then gonna connect that all up. So what I might do is either, yeah, so that's pretty much my goal, is hopefully, and I don't even know if you guys can see, it's right behind that pipe, basically. And that was a big fishing around to get it even in there. I'm hoping it all lines up. I don't really know how long this stuff takes to dry. I'm pretty positively dry enough. Plus you don't want to get any up in the little fan in there. But yeah, like I said, you want to extend out the wires with that, and that'll be a whole nother future video with installing this. It's like, everything is like a mess right now. I should have cleaned that off to put stuff down on, but just trying to race through this, and it should be done pretty quick. All right, so I got that side cleaned up. Next step is to do like I did before. Silicone around the sides. Silicone around the sides, in between here, and then do in the holes and then around there with the silicone. All right, I gotta move fast. Got the silicone on there. Got it around those areas there. Time to put in the bolts. Let's get it installed. Got that side in. Now I just gotta tighten down the bolts from inside the hull. This part's gonna be challenging. All right, so got everything all buttoned back in. Now for the last step is to install the sponsons. I'm gonna start on the right side first. All right, got that side hooked up. I guess it really shows you two side by side between a Riva sponson to a Worx Racing one. It looks really sharp with the carbon fiber. I can't wait to get it outside in the daylight. But that's what it looks like on that side. And with the yellow and stuff, yeah, that looks really sharp. Let me stick the seat on. I got my light with my phone. I don't know if that really, why does it not really make a difference? I guess this will make a difference of showing light what this looks like. Oh yeah, with the black, especially at the bottom, that looks so good. I'm so happy. That's what the seat looks like. And then it's probably the best I've seen it without the light. Well, that's basically how you install this whole thing. It's a lot of work to rip out. I'm lucky that I got on the exhaust side without pulling the exhaust out. I haven't actually had dinner. I let some stuff dry. And also too, there'll be a future video with the Bilge Pump some period of time once I get the rest of the stuff I got to install. But tomorrow, if it all works out right with the weather, and there's been aerial flooding, I'm gonna take this thing out and ride it and see how much this improves, because basically it moved that sponson down a lot farther in the water, into where it'll be in the water, than it was before. So I'm really excited. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Existing subscribers, or thank you for being a part of the Beowulf Nation. Make sure you pick up some I Am Beowulf merch at IamBeowulf.com. Check out my Amazon store at amazon.com/shop/ I am Beowulf. I'm exhausted. Haven't been feeling good. I want to get cooking dinner. So peace out, Beowulf Nation.